For some reason, if you've stumbled on this video, my heart reaches out to you because I know how it feels every time you've gone through a breakup or you've gone through a separation in a relationship and you're constantly obsessing about your ex or you want to manifest them back into your life. So for all of you who are watching this video, I know you are at a very vulnerable stage. And I am a firm believer of not taking any person's vulnerability for granted or for advantage. So I want you to just listen to this video with complete open mind and to start understanding the root cause of your obsession rather than thinking about this. I'm sure you've seen the thumbnail that says how to manifest your ex back. The reason why I ensured my team put out this thumbnail was simply because I knew this would resonate with you. And when this resonates with you, I know you are in a lot of pain. And rather than giving you any quick fixes, how about I give you the real solution for you to go within, understand why this has happened in the first place. Second of all, why you're extremely obsessed with wanting that one specific person in your life. Because I get a lot of messages, I get a lot of emails from people saying, hey, can I manifest a specific person? Can I manifest my ex back into my life? I have a solution for you. But I only believe in long-term and root cause solution rather than any superficial answers. Because I have been in 4 failed relationships before I got married to my soulmate. And every time I went through that kind of a breakup, you know what, I would go online and search how to manifest my ex back into my life. Because the desperation that you feel and the anxiety that you feel and the emotional pain that you go through is all real. So in today's video, it's my job to help you understand why you're going through that kind of an emotional turmoil and why your egoic mind is constantly making you want this one person, and it is also making you feel like you're worthless if this one person is not a part of your life. So if you're somebody who does not want a quick fix, that is, you've been through similar patterns again and again in your life, and this obsession towards one specific person or why relationship is not working out for you is bothering you so much, and you want a permanent solution for that, please remember this video is made for you. So I highly recommend watch it till the end. And how I always talk about, even in my podcast, even in my masterclass, or even in the videos, the answer is always within you. And especially in the process of personal development, it's extremely crucial for you to start doing the process of introspection. So can we manifest a specific person in our life, or can we manifest our ex back in our life? The answer is a big yes. But before I could actually talk to you about that, let me first talk to you and address what that pain is on the inside. Please remember, in most relationships, right, wherever the relationship dynamics are not that great, like there is one anxious partner, there is one avoidant partner. I've spoken about this in the past, but I would like to reiterate that once again. Let's understand. Anxious partner and avoidant. Based on what I'm going to be talking to you about, I want you to understand which one of these two is you. So if you are in a relationship and you're constantly waiting for those messages, and even that little bit of a space in the relationship, your partner is not messaging you, your partner is not reachable, creates a lot of anxiety inside of you. And every time there is a fight and you want to just resolve the fight no matter what, you call your partner 100 times, message them 50 times, and obsessed with your partner, please understand you fall into the anxious type. So I'll also help you understand why we've become anxious, because I used to be anxious for a very long time. And after that, I used to also be a combination. I'll explain to you how our subconscious mind works depending on the processed and unprocessed trauma that we have in our body. So this is the first type, which is the anxious type. Let's talk about the avoidant type. Avoidant type is the one where, for example, let's say, there is a confrontation that comes up. There is a truth that needs to be spoken. But the minute you send out this message to your partner, you tell your partner, hey, I really have something important to talk to you about, your partner just freezes. They want to run away from that space, they pack their bags, go to the gym, or they want to do anything possible just so that they're not confronted, or they don't want the confrontation. This is avoidant. They don't want any kind of a difficult emotion to be faced at that point of time. While we speak about both of this, what we need to understand is both of this is a result of trauma response. So while growing up, let's say You had parents who constantly gave each other a little bit of a silent treatment. And you had parents who did not give you a lot of love, and silence meant the love was taken away from you. You're always scared that little bit of a space or a little bit of a silence means I don't feel loved, I don't feel belonged, I'm not important. So you really need that communication, that reassurance from your partner to make you feel loved. Now, what ends up happening? Every time you're dependent on another person on the outside to make you feel a specific way on the inside, you're forever going to be a prisoner. So, in a relationship where there is an anxious partner and an avoidant partner, the avoidant partner always dictates the terms of the relationship on a very unconscious level. So, what do I mean by that? The avoidant partner is actually the one who does not want to speak about the emotions, speak about the feelings. Why do they not want to do that? Because when they were growing up in their household, every time they came up, when they were a child, when they came up and they spoke about the big emotions that they had, they were made to keep quiet, or those emotions were not even taken seriously. So it was a coping mechanism that they learned to kind of be in that survival mechanism of, oh, if I speak about my emotions, I'm not going to be taken seriously, so I will shut down. So any kind of an emotion that pops up, they keep suppressing on the inside. And it's always possible that an anxious partner will attract an avoidant partner, and it is vice versa in this process. So now what we need to understand is, in this dynamic, while both of it is a trauma response, this partner always tends to dictate the terms of a relationship, because they can go quiet for a week or two without having a conversation, because that does not affect them. What truly affects them is having the difficult conversation. Whereas in that 1 to 2 weeks, the anxious partner is just so traumatic, they're willing to do whatever it takes to make the relationship work. Well, both of this is a part of a trauma response. There is also another category, which is a combination of this. I used to be that. Which means, let's say this is you, okay? And there is a person who loves you, who's pampering you, who's showering you with love, right? And let's say there is another person, okay? There's another person who is not that into you. Now, you know what ends up happening? While this person loves you and is willing to show so much of an affection and attention to you, you run away from that person. When you run away from this person, who do you think you run behind? The person who does not give you a lot of importance. Now, on a conscious level, when we start thinking about this, it makes us feel like, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with me? Why? I am telling myself that I want a lot of love. I am telling myself that it is so important for me to just feel so important in a relationship. But the minute someone gives me that importance, I'm running away from that. And I'm always running towards the person who's not giving me a lot of importance in the relationship. So now what I want you to understand is, this person, which is you or somebody that you know, does not familiarize being loved. We only attract, please make a note of this. If you have notes, if you have notepad, please make a note of this. We only attract into our lives what we familiarize and what we normalize. So if being loved, feeling loved is not a normal emotion for us, when somebody sends that kind of a message to us and they shower us with so much love, you know what ends up happening? We run away from that because it is unfamiliar to us. We run away from that because we feel this is too good to be true. How can this person love me so much? Because internally you know yourself that you don't love yourself so much. But then why are you chasing the other person? Because you start to believe, when I chase the other person and make the other person fall in love with me, which means I am worthy. So your sense of self-worth is tied in this person falling in love with you. I used to be this person for a really long time until I went inside and processed this. So when I went through difficult situations after breaking up, the first thing that I would go and Google is how to manifest my ex back into my life. Let's understand why we do that in the first place. Just give me a second. Right? So when a relationship goes for a toss, or when there is a breakup that happens, right? It feels like a part of you is dying. Let's say this is you. You've seen a future with the other person in your mind. So there are parts of you that has already lived that future with the other person. Now, when the relationship goes for a toss or when you break up in the relationship, all these parts of you that saw a future with the other person has to go through a process of death. These parts of you need to die. And the process of that death is extremely difficult. And just like how you're addicted to, how some people are addicted to alcohol or porn or social media or eating or anything, this is a very similar kind of addiction. You are being addicted to a person, and now there is a lot of withdrawal symptoms. Those withdrawal symptoms make you feel uncomfortable. So now what ends up happening is, now the most important thing that I want you to realize is there are so many voids inside of you. Okay? There's so many empty voids inside of you. And all this while you have believed that this person has filled this void. Now, if this person does not exist, your mind makes you believe that there can be nobody in this world who can fill this for you. You can never feel loved again. You can never feel those amazing butterflies that you felt when you started to date this person initially. So that is why what ends up happening, you start to feel like, no, I want this person at any cost. And when you go reach out to certain people will tell you, yeah, sit down and manifest, sit down and visualize, this person will come back to you. The answer is yes, possibly the person will come back to you. But all that I want you to ask yourself is that person so important for me, more than how important I am to myself, that my entire sense of happiness is dependent on that person? And the minute, always remember, there's always a dynamic in a relationship. Let's say you are here, and the reason why you desperately want the other person into your life is because you believe only that person can make you feel amazing and loved and everything in your life. So when you give so much of an importance to another person, what do you think you end up doing? You put the person on a pedestal. So this person is here, you're down. So you're looking up to the person. When you're looking up to somebody, what ends up happening? They start to look down on you. So the energy dynamic, there is a mismatch. And in this relationship, you're never going to be happy or you're never going to feel full because you're coming from a space of emptiness. So now, if this is the case, what is the ultimate solution? Should I just break up with this person, try to forget them and move forward? All I would recommend for you is, if you're going through a phase like this where you're constantly wanting that person to come and fill that void, I want you to be aware that the emotions you have at this point of time are lessons. Okay? So these emotions need to be felt in order for you to heal. Because what ends up happening, if you don't heal at this point of time, let's say you go out and you find another partner. You say, okay, I just want to forget this. I've just suppressed my emotions. I don't want to feel those uncomfortable emotions. I want to go outside and find another partner. What do you think ends up happening? You will end up finding a partner who's an exact replica of your previous partner, who will still make you feel miserable in the relationship. Why? Because in the first place, there are so many voids inside of you that you haven't filled. So I always tell this to my participants, please remember this, right? When we have so many voids on the inside and we don't fill those voids ourselves, when we look out for somebody else to come and fill that void inside of us, forever we are going to remain a prisoner to them. We're always going to be dependent on them. And whatever feels, every time there is an uncomfortable emotion that you're feeling when you're going through a process of breakup, please remember those emotions need to be felt in order for you to heal. There is nothing wrong with those emotions. You don't have to run away from those emotions. So now what do? I want you to sit with yourself and ask yourself this question: why do I feel that somebody else can give me the word that I have been looking for all my life? What is the lesson that I'm missing right now that has caused this person to come into my life? And why am I so obsessed with this person? And you'll slowly start to come to the realization that a part of you feels abandoned and a part of you feels like it cannot be loved. And if I don't have this person, I can never have anybody. I've been there. I know how that feels. Now, because I'm on the other side, it's easier for me to say it, but I've gone through the same pain that you're going through at this point of time. So here I am as an example, not just me, so many thousands of participants who worked with me, they've healed out of this. Now, what do we have to do? So now, while we understand that there is a lot of emotion and pain in this process, we will take an oath to start working with the emotional pain to get onto the other side. So now, every time when you feel that need for another person, I want you to sit down and observe that emotion in your body, observe that painful sensation in your body without wanting to run away from the sensation. While you're doing this, while you're healing yourself, I would also recommend for you to start working on a list. Write down a list of qualities that you want in your partner, which is non-negotiable. And don't judge yourself for having that list. That list can be, my partner is ambitious, they're loyal, they're good looking, they're this, they're that, and everything. I had a 17 list of qualities that I wanted in my partner. When you write down that list, I want you to ask yourself, are you those qualities? If you want an ambitious partner, are you ambitious? If you want a partner who's dedicated and committed, are you dedicated and committed? Because we attract in our life who we are and not what we want. So the minute you become those qualities and the minute you start working on yourself while you're healing, what I would want you to tell yourself is, tell the universe saying, hey, I am open to being in a committed and an amazing relationship. And my job right now is to work on this list of qualities so that I become that for myself. When I fill my own voids, why do you think you need a partner? You believe that partner is going to fill that void inside of you. How about you start filling those voids inside of you and come from a space that I love myself for who I am. I'm beautiful just the way I am. My partner being a part of my life is only going to enhance my life. And I'm not dependent on them for happiness. I'm here to share my happiness with them. You will be surprised to see. While I'm going to talk to you about what is going to happen, I also want you to be aware that the first 1 or 2 months, initially when you're going through this healing journey, it is going to be difficult. Please don't listen to anybody who says, oh no, you can just suppress the emotions, you can just distract yourself. Everything is a quick fix. My job is to make sure that you understand to not fall for the quick fixes. All I want you to do is sit with those emotions rather than reaching out to that partner for an instant gratification. Sit with those emotions and start working on yourself. And the minute you start working on yourself and become all those qualities, you will see a profound change in you where you start to come from the space that, now I really don't need that person as much. And when the trauma was not processed and when you're healed, now both versions of you would look at the same person and you'll be like, what was I even thinking when I let that person walk all over me? Right? I know most of you are able to resonate with that. So now what I would recommend for you to do is tell the universe, I'm going to work on myself. I am going to be my first priority. If I am not my first priority, I cannot expect anybody to make me their priority. So my job is to become my first priority. My job is to work on all the unhealed trauma that is stuck inside of me so that I start to just unleash that pain and work within. And then you also tell the universe saying, hey, I'm leaving it to you. Either this person or somebody better. Either this person or somebody better. The minute you say this person or somebody better, you'll be astonished to see that the obsession that you have to want this person in your life so badly will disappear. Because what makes you believe that this person is the best for you? It's your ego that comes in between and tells you, no, this person is the best for me. Without this person, nothing is possible. It just shuts you there. What if that person is not the best for you? What if the universe has somebody even better for you? And that's exactly why this person had to come into your life so that you understand how amazing and worthy you are. And you start working on that so that you can attract the person who you were meant to attract. I'm literally speaking from my own experience. I've been in 4 failed relationships, out of which 2 of them were narcissistic relationships. Not very easy. I've been through my share of pain and crying and anxiety attacks and panic attacks. To be finally married to a man who I can't even explain. It's possible only when you start to work with yourself, work on yourself. And when you don't run away from those difficult emotions, and when you don't look for the quick fixes. I used to look for quick fixes. How do I just manifest my ex back in 24 hours? How do I manifest a message back in 24 hours? It's all bullshit. Please don't fall for that. Let's work on becoming the best version of ourselves so that even if this ex wants to come back into our life as a transformed version, we will make a choice when we are healed and not from a space of trauma or pain. We tell the universe, this person or somebody better. Thank you so much for this person into my life so that I was able to understand a lot of aspects about myself. And please remember, at the end of the day, every single person in your life is a blessing. Some people are direct blessings and some people are blessing in disguise. Nobody is ever put into your life by accident. If this person has come into your life and caused so much pain inside of you, right? The person was making you aware of the parts of yourself that you've abandoned for so many years. Now your job is to go fix yourself. And the beauty is when you start healing yourself, you start to see how you start healing other people also in this journey. So my recommendation to you, no matter what phase of the relationship that you are in or what phase of life that you are in, prioritize yourself. Don't fall for any quick fix because you're going to come back to the same loop once again. And I'll see you in the next video.